Hello. Can anybody hear me? It's been a few days since my last broadcast. I've gotten quite a bit done. Took a day off today, though. It's kind of a celebratory day, actually. The greenhouse is finally finished, and most everything has been moved inside. All the supplies and everything that I have. I need more things before I'm truly finished, but still. I have a whole pile of books in here on gardening now. I've even read most of them. Or most of them. My arms are so sore. I don't think I could lift another bag of dirt or fertilizer right now if I tried. Which is another reason I've taken the day off. Oh, and all the seeds seem to have roots and everything. So I relocated them into a little planter, and there's really not much left to do. Anything I do after this point is just extra, I guess, organizing and stuff. Oh, and I think one of the herbs is growing a little bit. Not too much, but I see a smidge of green amongst all the dirt. I think. It's all very exciting. I'm getting kind of tired of slightly cold chili and green beans, if you can't tell. Speaking of that, the not being able to tell thing. I was thinking while I worked in the greenhouse yesterday, and I realized something as I went through my memories. I'm almost certain you never noticed, but I never actually knew how to talk to you. Like, really talk. I wanted to, that wasn't it. I just never knew how. I always felt awkward. Felt like I was doing it the wrong way somehow. All the words that I was normally so good with just left me. So all I had were the wrong ones. Even if there wasn't really a wrong one to begin with. I'd find it eventually. I knew I would. So I didn't say anything. I just stayed quiet, nearly bursting with all the things. I never knew how to respond to anything, either, when you said something. Oh, questions were easy enough, but comments? I could never figure those out. So it was all just the same. Or close to it. I tried to figure out if there was something else I could say, but there never was, or at the time I thought of something. I always second-guessed the questions too, or the answers to questions, or both. Second-guessed how I phrased it, phrased everything, overanalyzed and overthought. I guess it's too late now, isn't it? But I had to tell you, or someone, something, whatever. I felt like I should get it off my chest, because I realized that I never told anyone before. So yeah. I miss you though. Even if our conversations were awkward sometimes. For me.
Back up to the brink.
Imagine how much more awkward they'd be if you were listening. Are you listening? Sometimes, late at night, as I watch the stars and try to sleep and think of anything except for this, sometimes I hope you are. I don't think I'd have the courage to speak if I knew, though. I'm not like you. I'm not brave. I can't just say things or ask for them. I don't know if I'll ever be that way. And maybe I'm wrong about you two. Maybe you struggle just as much. I don't know. This is just how I saw it. I'm like that with you too, listener. Though it might not seem like it. I'm always worried about what I said, what I didn't say. Could have, would have, should have, didn't, couldn't. Not that it matters. I just, again, thought you should know. Oh, to be a bird. Oh, speaking of birds, mine has been very good. I think he's trying to mimic some of my sounds. I tell him I love him every day, and today it sounded almost like he was saying it back. Of course, it could have been my imagination trying to make something out of nothing. But there's no one here to tell me otherwise. So until there is, I'm going to stick with the story of it's him telling me he loves me. He's started waiting for me outside too, and coming to see me as soon as I'm out there. I really do love him, listener. He's still scared of my greenhouse though, which is unfortunate since it's started to get pretty warm in there. We've had a couple days of sun. It's starting to get cold outside. It has been cold outside. But I think the sun is doing its job inside the greenhouse. Maybe one of these days I'll get the bird used to my hand so I can grab him and take him in there with me. He can't survive out here when winter really sets in. And I cannot, I will not lose my only friend here. That's one of the things I need to grab, actually. He seems to like sunflower seeds a lot, so when I'm not feeling quite so terribly sore, I'll go down and see if I can find a bag of just sunflower seeds. Maybe see if the pet store has any bird treats too. Work on really training him. At the very least, I'll be giving him something that he likes. I think it would make us both happy. Speaking of, I was just thinking of this the other night, and where do you feel happiness? I usually feel it in my throat, towards the top. It feels like it's choking me sometimes. Where do you feel sadness? I feel it in my chest and my lungs, and it spreads everywhere, pulsing with my heart. Where do you feel joy, eagerness? I feel them in my feet and lower legs, in my hands sometimes too, just under the skin, but sometimes deeper. Where do you feel loneliness? I feel it in my shoulders. It starts in my lungs and spreads and settles. But sometimes I feel it in the top of my chest. It feels both hollow and heavy. Where do you feel hate? I feel it in my head and my mouth. It makes me dizzy sometimes. Where do you feel anger? I feel it in my jaw and my hands. It moves through my veins and burns. Where do you feel love? Comfort? I feel them in my stomach and almost to my chest. It was a warm feeling, a settled feeling. Where do you feel fear? I feel it in my head and neck, down my spine. I feel it in my limbs, but especially my legs. I feel it around my lungs. It's quick. It feels like crawling. It feels like running. Where do you feel longing? I feel it in my fingertips and forearms. Sometimes my arms ache from it, and sometimes my chest does too. When it's bad, it wraps up my arms like vines and reaches into my chest. It feels like I can hardly breathe with it sometimes. Tell me, listener, where do you feel? You know, you'd think that you reach a certain point of being tired and you'd have no choice but to become less tired, right? That seems like the most logical assumption. But it isn't true. It isn't true at all. Every time I think there's no possible way of me getting more tired, I end up unpleasantly surprised. And I don't know how to fix it. I don't think I'm able to fix it. I don't think anything is able to. I'm so tired. I'll start the organizing and everything tomorrow, though. Hopefully. As long as I can actually move and lift things. So, maybe that will help me. Some good old physical labor to tip the exhaustion past breaking point. I'm going to try and get in some last minute planting maybe, if I feel like it. I just have a couple edible flowers that I've never tried growing before, and I just really want something colorful and bright, something happy to look at, but food is most important right now, so something colorful and bright and edible, something to look forward to. Though, to be honest, I'm looking forward to all of it. I was never one for gardening, but I can't wait to get started now. I feel the eagerness in my hands this time.
That means you're ready to go.
The anticipation of digging into the soil settles there. I also made sure everything was bird safe for when I put my friend in the greenhouse for warmth. I can't be poisoning him now. Anyways, I'm kind of tired of sitting up, and I can feel myself growing more stiff as I sit here. If I stay for much longer, I won't be able to move at all. So, good night, listeners, even though I won't sleep yet. Thank you for listening. Thank you for doing that much at least. I felt you in my throat and my neck, spreading down my spine. I felt you in my stomach and my chest and my lungs, spreading from there to my forearms, settling in my fingertips. It was both falling and flying.